हरिः ओम् नमः सर्वेभ्यः। अद्य कृदन्तप्रकरणस्य स्वाध्यायचर्चापाठः पञ्चषष्टितमात् वर्गात् आरभ्य अग्रे स्वाध्यायानाम् उत्तराणि पठामः। प्रारम्भे वन्दनम्। येनाक्षरसमाम्नायमधिगम्य महेश्वरात् कृत्स्नं व्याकरणं प्रोक्तं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। वाक्यकारं वररुचिं भाष्यकारं पतञ्जलिं पाणिनिं सूत्रकारं च प्रणतोऽस्मि मुनित्रयं नमस्कृत्य तदुक्तिः परिभाव्य च वैयाकरणसिद्धान्तकौमुदीयं विरच्यते। So we start with exercise number 65. I would like to take 2 or 3 sessions today till 60 exercises today till 67. So I'm going to unmute Rajalakshmi ji. You can take up exercise 65. Namaste.
नमः सर्वेभ्यः।
श्रूयते।
अद्य पञ्चषष्टितमः पाठस्य स्वाध्यायचर्चा। उपपदस्य उपस्थितौ हन् धातोः ड निनि टक् प्रत्ययाः। We can see that han dhatu is unique and special and interesting dhatu. When we studied the krut pratyayaha, we learned that han dhatu is one of the very few dhatu where we can derive forms in all three yat, nyat and kyap sarupa pratyayaha. Now, in order to justify the forms of han dhatu alone, there are 7 sutras given by Panini Maharshi, and in addition 4 Vartikas given by Bhashyakara. Coming to first question. भट्टिकाव्यस्य द्वौ श्लोकौ अधः दीयेते। एतेषु विद्यमानान् हन् धातोः सर्वेषां कृदन्तरूपाणां प्रक्रियां लिखत। शीर्षघातिनम् आयातम् अरीणां त्वां विलोकयन् पतिघ्निलक्षणोपेतां मन्येऽहं वालिनः श्रियम्। शत्रुघ्नान् युधिहस्तिघ्नो गिरीन् क्षिप्यन्न कृत्रिमान् शिल्पिभिः पाणिघैः क्रुद्धस्त्वया जयोऽभ्युपायवान्। अत्र कृदन्तरूपाणि शीर्षघातिनं, पतिघ्नि, शत्रुघ्नान्, हस्तिघ्नः तथा पाणिघैः। प्रथमः शीर्षघातिनं। शिरः हन्ति इति शीर्षघातिन्। हन् हिंसागत्योः अदादिः परस्मैपदी सकर्मकः अनिट् धातुः। शिरः इति उपपदं हन् धातोः कुमारशीर्षयोर्निनिः इति सूत्रेण निनि प्रत्ययः। चुटु तस्य लोपः इति अनुबन्धलोपं कृत्वा इन् अवशिष्यते। उपपदमतिं कर्तृकर्मणो कृति सुपोधातुप्रातिपदिकयोः सूत्रैः शिरस् इति रूपं भवति। कुमारशीर्षयोर्निनिः इति शीर्षभावः निपात्यते। शीर्ष हन् इन्। हो हन्तेर्निन्नेषु इति हकारस्य घकारादेशः। शीर्ष घन् इन्। हनस्ते चिण्णलोः इति नकारस्य तकारादेशः। शीर्ष घत् इन्। अत उपधायाः इति उपधा अकारस्य दीर्घः। शीर्ष घात् इन् योजयित्वा शीर्षघातिन्। सुप्रत्ययं योजयित्वा शीर्षघातिनम् इति रूपं सिद्ध्यति। द्वितीयः पतिघ्नि। पतिं हन्ति इति पतिघ्नि। पतिम् इति उपपदं हन् धातोः लक्षणे जायापत्योष्टक् इति टक् प्रत्ययः। हलन्त्यं चुटु तस्य लोपः इति अनुबन्धलोपं कृत्वा अ अवशिष्यते। उपपदमतिं कर्तृकर्मणोः कृति सुपो धातु प्रातिपदिकयोः इति पति इति रूपं। पति हन् अ। गमहन जन खन घसां लोपः नित्यनङ्गी इति सूत्रेण उपधा अकारस्य लोपः ह न अवशिष्यते। हो हन्तेर्निन्नेषु इति हकारस्य घकारादेशः। पतिघ्न सुप्रत्ययं योजयित्वा प्रत्ययस्य टित्वात् टिड्ढाणे इति सूत्रेण स्त्रीत्वे नी प्रत्ययं योजयित्वा पतिघ्नी इति रूपं सिद्ध्यति।
अत्र एकः विशेषः ज्ञातव्यः। अत्र पतिं हन्ति इति वृत्ति यद्यपि लेखितुं शक्यते वृत्तिं, तथापि अत्र लक्षणम् अस्ति इति मनसि स्मरणे च नित्यं स्थापनीयम्। इत्युक्ते किं, साक्षात् सा स्त्री पतिं हन्ति इति तत्र अर्थः नास्ति, तादृशं लक्षणम् अस्ति। अतः पतिं हन्ति इति लक्षणम् अस्याः इति वक्तुं शक्यते। नो चेत् पतिं हन्ति इत्यपि वृत्तिः भवितुम् अर्हति, परन्तु तत्र लाक्षणिकः अर्थः लक्षणम् अस्ति इति सर्वदा स्मर्तव्यम्। अग्रे
तृतीयः शत्रुघ्नान्। शत्रून् हन्ति इति शत्रुघ्नः। शत्रून् इति उपपदं हनुधातोः क प्रत्ययः। अत्र तुन्दशोकयोः परिमृजापनुतोः इति सूत्रे क प्रकरणे मूलविभुजादिभ्यः उपसंख्यानम् इति वार्तिकं पठितमस्ति। मूलविभुजादिगणः आकृतिगणः। इदं वार्तिकेन क प्रत्ययः भवति। लशक्वतद्धिते तस्य लोपः इति अनुबन्धलोपं कृत्वा अ अवशिष्यते। उपपदमतिं कर्तृकर्मणो कृति सुपोधातु प्रातिपदिकयोः इति शत्रु इति भवति। गमहनजनखन घसां लोपः नित्यनङ्गी इति उपधा आकारस्य लोपं कृत्वा ह न अवशिष्यते। हुहन्तेर्निन्नेषु इति हकारस्य घकारादेशः। शत्रुघ्न सुप्रत्ययं योजयित्वा शत्रुघ्नान् इति रूपं भवति।
अत्र कश्चन सजेशन् अस्ति। अत्र मम कृते अस्ति, भवत्याः कृते न। क प्रकरणे मूलविभुजादिभ्य इत्यत्र सूत्रम् अपि लिख्यते चेत् लाभाय भवेत् इति तद् अनन्तरं लेखिष्यामि। So actually I don't have the Sanskrit keyboard today, so what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to take some color and highlight that particular part so that I know that I have to go back and fix that, and I'll fix that and then upload it. So the action item for me is to add the sutram over here. Agre gacchama.
हस्तिघ्नः। हस्तिनं हन्तुं शक्तः मनुष्यः हस्तिघ्नः। हस्तिनम् इति उपपदं हनुधातोः शक्तौ हस्तिकपाटयोः इति सूत्रेण टक् प्रत्ययः। हलन्त्यं चुटु तस्य लोपः इति अनुबन्धलोपं कृत्वा अ अवशिष्यते। उपपदमतिं कर्तृकर्मणो कृति सुपोधातु प्रातिपदिकयोः इति सूत्रैः हस्ति इति रूपम्। गमहनजनखन घसां लोपः नित्यनङ्गी इति उपधा अकारस्य लोपं कृत्वा ह न अवशिष्यते। होहन्तेर्निन्नेषु इति हकारस्य घकारादेशः। हस्तिघ्न सुप् योजयित्वा सुप्रत्ययं योजयित्वा हस्तिघ्नः इति रूपं भवति। पञ्चमः प्रश्नः पाणिघैः। पाणिभ्यां हन्ति इति पाणिघः। पाणिभ्याम् इति उपपदं हनुधातोः पाणिघताडघौ शिल्पिनी इति टक् प्रत्ययस्य निपातनम्। हलन्त्यं चुटु तस्य लोपः इति अनुबन्धलोपं कृत्वा अ अवशिष्यते। उपपदमतिं कर्तृकर्मणो कृति सुपोधातु प्रातिपदिकयोः इति सूत्रैः पाणिभ्यां पाणि इति अवशिष्यते। टेः इति टिलोपः निपातनं कृत्वा अन् लोपः भवति। पाणि ह अ हकारस्य घकारादेशः अपि निपात्यते। पाणि घ अ पाणिघ सुप्रत्ययं योजयित्वा पाणिघैः इति रूपं सिद्ध्यति।
उत्तमं। श्लोकस्य अन्वयम् अर्थं वक्तुम् इच्छति वा?
समयम् अस्ति चेत्
सम्यक् अस्ति, चिन्ता मास्तु, सम्यक् लिखितमस्ति। तत्र एकः द्वौ वा दोषौ स्तः, तत्र तद् वदामि अहं, परन्तु सम्यक् एव अस्ति।
प्रथमः श्लोकः पदच्छेदः शीर्षघातिनम् आयातम् हरीणां त्वां विलोकयन् पतिघ्नी लक्षणोपेतां मन्ये अहं वालिनः श्रियम्। अन्वयः अरीणां शीर्षघातिनं त्वाम् आयातं विलोकयन् वालिनः श्रियम् अहं पतिघ्नी लक्षणोपेतां मन्ये. What I understood is Vali's wife is thinking about herself, seeing that Rama has come, seeing that that decapitator of enemies have come. I think that the glory of Vali is possessed of the characteristics of the murderer of one's husband. So here Patigni, that is Lakshana of a Lakshana or Chinha in the wife, that point is highlighted.
सो अहम इत्युक्ते प्रायः कः अस्ति इति कांटेक्स्ट संदर्भं न जानामि, परन्तु अहं मन्ये somebody is saying that I believe that Wali is now going to get killed in this battle, which effectively means that his wife has some kind of sign that after she marries Wali, Wali will get killed. So basically, eventually, see, the Bhattikave, he wants to somehow include the word Patigni in this context. So he tries to, unnecessarily introduce Wali's wife over here and calls her Patigni so that the word basically can be introduced. Essentially, as I said, this particular kavya is for demonstrating the grammar prakriya, the words derivable from the Ashtadhyayi Sutra. So some amount of sacrifice on the linguistic beauty has been done. Another example, but before that, I can explain the meaning in more details. Like Tvam ityukte Tvam Ramam Prayaha Arinam Shirsha Ghatinam, the one who kills the greatest of the enemies. So Arinam Shirsha Ghatinam Tvam Ayatam Vilokayan. You have come over here. Who are you? You are the destroyer of the biggest of the enemies. And you have come over here to fight with Vali. Now, obviously, Vali cannot win over you. He's going to get defeated. He's going to get killed. And therefore, in turn, Vali's wife has some kind of bad sign, whatever bad lakshana on her hand, so that she is Patigni. She is not responsible for killing him. I mentioned this point again and again earlier when I talked about this sutram, that she is directly not going to kill him, but somehow she has been associated because of a certain lakshana present on her hand. Another very interesting point some of you might have noticed over here is this is a very peculiar and a weird construct. It might not look peculiar when you try to translate it into your mother tongue or local language, Indian language, but this is definitely a peculiar construct because Arinam Shirsha Ghatinam, if you look at her, the word Shirsha has Anvaya with Ari. Ari is enemy. Shirsha is the head of the Ari. So what is being killed? The head of the enemy is being killed. Or what is being destroyed? The head of the enemy is being destroyed. Now look at the sentence how I am talking. Head of the enemy. So Arinam Shirsham, Arinam Shiraha is one closer construct. And then Ghatinam, the killer of that, is the second construct. So if you look at these three words, Arinam, which is word number 1, Shirsha, which is word number 2, and Ghatinam, which is word number 3. If you look at three different words and ask me what is the mutual anvaya or what is the mutual samarthya between the words, Arinam and Shirsham will come together to say form Arishiraha or whatever. And Tasya Ghatinam, the killer of that. However, purely for poetic reasons, we call it poetic license or whatever, or purely for demonstrating this particular Shirsha Ghatinam word, a twisting has been done. Shirsha Ghatinam is basically Rama. Rama is being described as the killer of the head, killer of the whatever face or whatever, Shira. So that is Rama. So now once you know Shirsha Ghatinam is Ramaha, you can try to replace the word Shirsha Ghatinam with Ramaha and the Anvaya doesn't fit. Arinam Ramaha means what? Doesn't make any sense. Arinam is only related to Ghatinam and Shirsham is related to Arinam. So see the Anvaya. Shirsha has to be related to Arinam and then Arinam has to be related to Ghatinam, or Shirsha will then be, or whatever. I mean, Arinam, Shirsha, the entire thing will be related to Ghatinam. So not just the single Shirsha word doesn't get related to Ghatinam. You see these kind of constructs, you see these. So technically a samasa should not be possible over here, but you see these kind of deviations from strict grammar rules. Various places we call it as a poetic license, and we just go ahead. Okay, so the reason why I mentioned this is that these are the kind of jugglings that one has to do when one has to stick with a different goal in mind. In this case, it is to construct a poem that demonstrates the Panini Prayogas. So the beauty of the language or little bit other rules of the grammar are to be twisted here and there. And that's what I was earlier also in one of the previous classes referring to, that these linguistic acrobatics, though they are very difficult, still it uh, is considered an inferior piece in Sanskrit literature because it tries to play around or it tries to compromise these vital important aspects of the literature. Anyway, this was just a comment, a passing remark. We can go ahead with the second shloka.
Okay. Padachetaha. Shatrughnam yudhi hastighnah girin kshipyan akrutriman shilpibhihi panighaihi kruddha tvaya jayya abhyupayavan. Anvayah. Akrutriman girin kshipyan shilpibhihi panighaihi shatrugnan abhyupayavan kruddha hastighnah atra valihi yudhi tvaya jayah. Enraged Vali, capable of killing elephants in war, that is Hastighnah, hurling huge natural rocks, and resourceful with technicians and boxers, that is Panighaihi, who kill with their fists, has to be vanquished by you.
So all these are Visheshanas of Vali. Akrutriman girin kshipyan. He's throwing big stones or whatever, big mountains. Shilpibhihi panighaihi Shatrugnan abhyupayavan. With technicians and boxers, he is fighting with the enemies. Angry, kruddhaha, hastignaha, etadrishaha valihi, yudhi, tvaya. Ityukte again Ramena. Somebody is talking to Rama. Tvaya jayaha, jetum shakyaha, shaya jayo shakyarthe. Another krudant over here. So simple. Somebody in the previous shloka pointed me that another possible interpretation over here for Shriyam is Amanushya Kartrukecha. So we had Lakshane Jaya Patyoshtaka and Amanushya Kartrukecha, where Shriyam does not necessarily mean the wife, I mean the physical person, but possibly a bad sign or whatever, a star or whatever. I mean that could, the owner of that star or the one who is under influence of that star or the one who is the controller of that star is being killed over here. That's also another possible interpretation in this previous shloka. Astu, dhanyavadah. Agrimam prashnam pashyamah.
द्वितीय प्रश्नः. प्रत्यय विधायकं सूत्रम् उत वार्तिकं निर्दिश्य रिक्तस्थानानि पूरयत. प्रथमः प्रश्नः. दारु आहन्ति सः, चारु आहन्ति सः. दारु आहन्ति सः दार्वा घाटः. अत्र आशिशिहनः इति सूत्रे दारावाहनोऽनन्तस्य चटः संज्ञायाम् इति वार्तिकेन अण् प्रत्ययः भवति. अन्त्यस्य च टकारादेशः भवति. चारु आहन्ति सः चार्वाघाटः वा चार्वाघातः. अत्रापि आशिशिहनः इति सूत्रे चारौ वा इति वार्तिकेन अण् प्रत्ययः, अन्त्यस्य च पाक्षिकः टकारादेशः भवति. शत्रुं वध्यात् इति शत्रुं वधति इति द्वितीय प्रश्नः. शत्रुं वध्यात् इति शत्रुः आशिशिहनः इति सूत्रेण ड प्रत्ययः. शत्रुं वधति इति शत्रुघातः कर्मण्यण् इति अण् प्रत्ययः. तृतीयः प्रश्नः. ताडं हन्ति सः, ताडं हन्ति इति शिल्पमस्य सः. ताडं हन्ति सः ताडघातः कर्मण्यण् इति अण् प्रत्ययः. ताडं हन्ति इति शिल्पमस्य सः ताडघः पाणिघताडघौ शिल्पिनी इति सूत्रेण टक् प्रत्ययः। चतुर्थः प्रश्नः विषेण हस्तिनं हन्ति सः हस्तिनं हन्तुं शक्तः सः। विषेण हस्तिनं हन्ति सः हस्तिघातः, अत्र कर्मण्यण् इति अण् प्रत्ययः। हस्तिनं हन्तुं शक्तः सः हस्तिघ्नः, शक्तौ हस्तिकपाटयोः इति सूत्रेण टक् प्रत्ययः। पञ्चमः प्रश्नः जायां हन्ति सः नरः जायां हन्ति सः तिलकालकः। जायां हन्ति सः जायाघ्नः नरः, लक्षणे जायापत्योष्टक् इति सूत्रेण टक् प्रत्ययः। जायां हन्ति सः अपि जायाघ्नः तिलकालकः, अत्र अमनुष्यकर्तृके च इति सूत्रेण टक् प्रत्ययः। धन्यवादः।
उत्तमं, धन्यवादः। बहु सम्यक् रूपेण उत्तराणि लिखितानि, उक्तानि च। अनेके धन्यवादाः। Let's go to the exercise number 66. Just 1 second. So exercise number 66, I think both the questions Sri Kalyana Krishnan has kindly agreed to, volunteer to take the responsibility for. Let me unmute him. Let me just first quickly introduce him. He will of course introduce himself. He is a long time supporter, actually. He's a very senior member and a long time supporter of Vyoma Samskrita Pathashala. He's an advisor in one sense. The founders, Venkat and Vishwanath, they look at him as a father figure. He has been very instrumental in helping them out at various stages. Recently, we launched the Vyoma US website. We were fortunate enough to have him as our inaugurator. He inaugurated that website. Having said all this, he's extremely regular to our classes. So, he has earned enough name and enough prestige in the material world. But at the same time, he's very regular to our classes. Every class, he will make sure he'll ask some of the other question to clarify a few things. And one of the very few persons who actually writes to me before every class if he's not going to be attending the class. So he's one of the very few members who has attended right from the beginning, and before every class, if he somehow is going to miss it, he'll make sure that he informs me. So another side point is that he's very peculiar about how one should speak or pronounce English. So many times, almost in every class, I keep on getting messages from him when I explain something in English and I do a mispronunciation of something. I keep on getting messages from him saying this word should not be pronounced like this, it is pronounced like this. And I always look forward to these. These are actually something that that help me in my growth, my career also. So I'm going to now unmute Sri Kalyanji. When I called him Kalyana Krishna, he said you should just call me Kal, because then there is Lyana iti ucharanarthaha and tasya lopaha bhavati is all that he wrote into me in my email. So let me unmute him. What I'm going to request you is kindly introduce yourself in 2-3 minutes, specifically about your association with Sanskritam and your association with Vyoma Samskrita Pathashala, and then you can take up the discussion of these two exercises. So you will have to unmute yourself first. I have unmuted you. Now you will have to press the unmute button on your system and unmute yourself. Namaste. I think you are unmuted, but we cannot hear you. Okay, let's give a minute before. Oh. Yeah, you are unmuted. I think we cannot hear you. Okay, let's wait for a minute till he figures out his microphone thing. I think you are unmuted. I can see the green icon on next to your name, but we cannot hear anything. At least I cannot hear anything from my side over here. So you probably want to disconnect. Maybe you should just disconnect and join again.
Can you hear now?
Now I can hear you. Yes.
Oh, great. I just had to switch to my other computer.
Okay, you can log out from the place where it was not audible. Or okay, I mean, I'm okay with it.
It's okay. It's not going to bother you.
Okay,
So,
okay.
anyhow,
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Sarvebhya namo namaha. Mama nama Kalyana Krishna. Parantu Paschimavasinam Ucharana Sahaya Artham Mama Namnaha Parivartanam Kal Ityabhavat. Tattu Hasya Prakarena Nagaratvat Kakarasya Dirgha Tadanandaram Ante Vidyamana Nama Akara Lobaha Tadanandaram Ya Karasya Abhilobaha Yedesham Parivartanartham Parivartanaramanartham Anyam Navina Sutram Rajatavyamiti Hasyam. All right. समझ गया क्या?
Yeah, can you kindly introduce your acquaintance with Sanskrit in general and Vyoma Pathashala in particular, and then we can go ahead with the work, with the
Okay.
studies.
So at the age of 65, I started to read Bhagavad Gita and didn't quite understand much of it. And I've read a lot of translations, and that was not very interesting. Finally, I decided to learn a little bit of Sanskrit, went to the American Sanskrit Institute in New Jersey for a week. And they were trying to teach me the Paninian grammar on Tingandas in a week. And what I found out was that they had no idea what they were doing. And of course, they do know it very well now. In the meantime, accidentally, I ran into Vyoma Samskrita Lab and also NCT Acharya's YouTube videos, which are very, very good. And now the rest is history. I loved what Vyoma does and did. And Venkat and Vishwam have dedicated their lives and have rejected their jobs, and they've just left their jobs to dedicate their cause towards the language of Sanskrit. And I am quite impressed by what they have done so far. I not only listen to your lectures in Vyakarana, but I listen to various like Lalita Sahasranamam, Gita Ucharanam, and Narayaniyam. Those are all very good things to practice because your Charanam gets much better. Myself, I have a lot of difficulty because I just have not spoken in Sanskrit. I may be better off at Hindi than in Sanskrit. So again, I really appreciate all the teachers that are with Sanskrit Lab, with the Vyoma Lab, who have done an impossible job possible, because those days, some years ago, it was almost impossible to learn Sanskrit thanks to the technology evolution today. And the teachers like Nilesh Bodha and Venkat and Vishwam and Saumya and there's Mr. Verma there, Rama Verma. They are very, very good at what they do. They have done a phenomenal job. But the most important thing I want to ask all of you who are listening to this is not about me, but please, please help support this organization, because this has got worldwide consequence. Each and every one of us, all we got to do is to just skip one coffee shop visit, $1.95 a week. That's all it takes to support them. They need about 2 lakhs a month just to survive, 2 lakhs rupees, that is. Having said that, now I'm ready to talk about the questions here. May I start?
Thank you very much. Yeah, please, please.
So the first question is about Adya Subhaga Sthula Palita Nagna Andha Priyeshu Chvateshvaiva Krinyaha Karanekhyun Iti Sutram Dalakrityam Pradarshya Sobhashaya Spashti Guruda. So Dalakritya means just analysis, establish the boundaries, explain what you're talking about and what are the limitations. That's what Dalakritya means. It also means that you have to get your thinking process far beyond what is being said here. And that's how you advance the cause of any human endeavor. So here, for example, I'm going to throw a bone at you guys, and I hope you understand what that means. Get rid of that achvarte, achvavidi. If you get rid of that thing, you can really reduce the whole sutra, but then you got some other problems, and we'll talk about it later on. So again, Sutra Chedaha, Adya, Subhaga, Sthula, Palita, Nagna, Andha, Priyeshu, Chvi Artheshu, Achwao, Krunyaha, Karane, Kyun. I guess it reads Ken, so if you want to put a U in the U in there. Sutratha, Adyadishu Kinchana Upapadam Karmani Karage Vidyate Ched, Yatra Vrittivakyena Chvi Pratyesa Prayogam Vina Chvi Pratyartha Nirdishyate Tatra Kridhatoho Karanakarakasya Nirdeshartham Kyun Pratyaha Bhavati. Iti. Udaharanani Anadhyam Adhyam Karodi Anena Iti Adhya plus Kru plus Kyun Adhyangarana. Now, just to remind everybody that the Ka is there to bring in the Mumagama, the Na is set up to adjust the Swara location, okay? And then Subhaga plus Kru plus Kyun, Subhagankarana, Sthulankarana, Palita plus Kru plus Kyun, Palitankarana, Nagna plus Kru plus Kyun, Nagnankarana, Andha plus Kyun, Andha plus Kru plus Kyun, Andhankarana, Priya plus Kru plus Kyun, Priyangarana. Now, Dalakrityam here, Adhya Sthula Parida Tesham Sutrasya Prasaktihi Saptasu Upapadeshu Eva Na Anyatra. That's the most important thing. These 7 Shabdas, in the Kri sense, this is what applies, okay? Nowhere else. Karmani Karage Eva, this is about Karmani, not about Kartru, not about Adhikarana, none of that. Just Karmani. Karmani Karage Eva, Karmani Upade Eva Na Anyatra. Then Anadhyam Adhyasya Mitram Karodi Anena Atra Na Bhavati. Chvi Artheshu, Chvi Pratyasa Arthe Eva Sutra Vidham Na Anyeshu Artheshu. The Chvartha is about, just a quick second here, Chvartha is about Parivartanam from existing previous condition to a new Parivartana, new condition, new change. That's what the Chvartha is. Achva means you're not using the Chvi Pratyaya. Adi Karodi Anena Atra Na Bhavati. Krunyaha Sutram Krunyaha Prayoge Eva Na Anyatra. Anadhyaha Adhyaha Bhavati Anena Atra Na Bhavati. Kimartham Bhavati Iti Na Upayuktavyam. It is only for Krudhadu. Karane Krudantena Karanakaragasya Eva Arthaha Nadishyate Na Anyaha. Anadhyam Adhyam Karoti Asmin Atra Na Bhavati. So that's all about the first question. Now, can we move on to the second?
Yes. As let me just quickly summarize. As he has mentioned, Dalakritya means you take each word and inspect it. Is this word required? Is this word not required? And most often it is always required. So you like justify what bad will happen if that word is kicked out. So Dalakrityam, taking out a piece one by one, is called Dalakrityam. He has precisely explained the meaning and the usage of or importance of each of these. And that's all what was required in this particular question. Do a Dalakritya, give a bunch of examples and explain the sutra. Very well written. Agre kantum shakyate. Second one.
Okay, second question is again, we got to read the same long sutram. Adhyas subhagas thula palita nagna andha priyeshu Shvartheshu Achwa Krunya Karane Kyun Asmin Sutre Achwa Vityatra Prayojanam Purvottara Bhakshayoho Sahayena Vivrunuta. So this is all about, a bunch of guys. Now, first of all, I want to touch upon something before you go into the details of this. It'll take me just about a minute. So what this is about, when we talk about various people's opinions of the grammarians, you've got to realize that Panini was like the 5th century BC, And Patanjali was about 2nd century BC, Kashika about the 7th century or 10th century AD, then Nagesha in the 17th or the 16th century, then the most up-to-date from Maharashtra, Bhattoji, and in the 18th century, 19th century. So when these people have their opinions, it is about the contemporary thinking process of the contemporary usage of various words and vacuum. Therefore, we got to be very careful to be critical about what they're saying, because what they're saying may relate to that time and may not apply to a different time in history. With that, may I proceed?
Yes, so this is actually, one second, this is actually a very important point that he has mentioned, that all these commentaries that we are discussing about are spread across various eras, starting with 6th century BC, which is Panini, to the latest of Nagesha, which is 18th century. And therefore, like the point of view in which a sutra was proposed by Panini, or it was commented by Patanjali, or it was further, dissected by Nagesha, and moreover, today in 21st century, what would be our thinking process on that particular sutra are going to be completely different. And that is the reason even today we have these things called Vakyartha Sabhas, where scholars gather together and they take a sutram which is even discussed in details by Nagesha. They take that sutram and they try to even churn it further and come up with some amazing conclusions that none of these previous grammarians could even think of. It does not point to the weakness of these previous grammarians. It just says that across the time, the thinking process changes, the evidences or whatever approach towards the problem changes. And therefore, he also, I mean, Mr. Kalyana also had some views of his own that he wrote in this particular answer sheet. So one of the very unique answer sheets that I've got for this particular question, where he explains the Purvottara Paksha and he explains his own Paksha on this sutra at the end. So I chopped that out because I said we don't want to add our own paksha in that particular model answer. But I have told him that he's completely free to discuss his own paksha or whatever views about this sutra he has after this particular discussion of the Purva and Uttara Paksha. And I really appreciate somebody going all the way beyond and saying that Patanjali says this, Nagesha says this, but I think something about this sutra. Very unique style of argument that I have seen across all the homeworks. Okay, please go ahead.
So, अच्छा, this is not like, in Mumbai mein baitha hua Irani restaurant mein baith ke chai peete hain, Patanjali or Panini. That's not the way it is. It's just about various time frames, the contemporary issues that face those grammarians at the time, like Pushpa Dikshita today. She's looking at it totally differently. I'm sure some of you are familiar with Pushpa Dikshita's work. She's still alive, by the way.
Yeah, of course. I think everybody over here knows and refers to her books on a regular basis. One of the phenomenal grammarians available today. Anyway, yes. If you want, you can go ahead with the discussion first about the Purva and Uttara.
No, I'm just good. I'm good here. Purva Paksha Achva Vidipadam Adhi Upapadasya Upasthido Kyun Pratyah Na Bhavati Iti Spashtikartum Avashyakam. Uttara Paksha tu Adhi Upapadasya Upasthido Kyun Pratyah Bhavati Chedapi Adhi Karodi Anena Ityatra Adhi Kru plus Kyun. It is today Adhi Shabdasya Uryadischudadascha Idi Ganisamya Tadascha Prag Grishwara Nipata Haidi Nipata Samya Tadascha Suradi Nipata Mavyamidi Avya Samya Bhavati Ataha Prakriyayam Mumagamaha Na Bhavati Aswadesha Abhinna Bhavati. So actually, there's a couple of sutra numbers that are put on it. The Uryadi sutra number is 1461. And then the Pragrisha, that thing is sutra number 1456. And people should read this sutra because the Rishwara is not Ishwara, it is Swara is about Swarga, udhar line ekdam chota hai. So they're not talking about Ishwara, talking about Swarga Adi, okay? So it's important you read that Sutra 1456. And it also refers to 1497 and 3, 4, 13, which really limits the prasakti of this. Okay, did I say that correctly, sir?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I've always going to recommend people to read these additional sutras that are there in this particular whatever course. But yeah, absolutely.
One other quick sutram is about Yuvaranago 711. And I really recommend everybody read this as to how people just tear this thing apart. And the Yuvaranago, some people argue the Yuvan is one way of looking at it. The other way is Yuvaha is another way of looking at it. And they go on and discuss this. And it's really interesting, although it doesn't affect us. Yuvaranago is Yuvaranago. You don't need to worry about anything else, but it's interesting to read it under on the book by what's his name? Shreyas Chandra Basu's.
Basu, yeah. There's a very nice English translation of these that you should definitely look into.
Yeah, somebody's. It's very important to read that book because he's got a detailed explanation of everything in there.
And he has an explanation in Ashtadhyayi order, and there is a separate book which is the same explanation or similar explanation in the Kaumudi order in a different context. So yeah, I mean, we are in the process of digitizing this Vasu book, and it will be available on the Ashtadhyayi website very soon. So we've actually had people to digitize it, and yeah, but we should definitely go ahead and read it. Anyway, Agre, Uttara Pakshaha.
Yeah, the Uttara Paksha, since I don't have a lot to do, only 2 or 3 minutes, so I just want to make one more statement here. People like Nilesh, who is working with computers and IT, and Rama guy, he's also an IT guy. He does, heavy duty work on IT. We need to take this learning process of Ashtadhyayi and grammar beyond what we have done in the last 2,000 years, way beyond that, to where it's much easier and expeditious to learn these things rather than banging your head against the wall. Why? Because we have so many other things to do in life. If you look at the education 50 years ago when I went to school, and today, people are learning in the same amount of time, 3 times as much material or more. Therefore, each of you who are listening to all this stuff, I hope you guys, young people, try to advance this way, way beyond what you see here. And that's one of the most important functions of Vyoma. The only way to spread this across the world is to make it easier and simpler and easier to refer to things. For example, I was looking for this Tadanda Vidhi in the Vasu's book. I just cannot find it in the index tabs. It just don't exist. You have to know where it is. So we don't want to be in that situation anymore. Anyhow, Uttara Paksha. Adhi upavadasya upasthito kyun pratyaya bhavati chedapi adhi karodi anana ityatra adhi kru plus kyun idi sthite adhi shabdasya urya. Did we do this already? Uryadi chidadasya idi.
We did, but you can continue reading and we'll go ahead in the flow.
Okay. Pragrishara nipadaha idi nipasamya tadascha swaradi anipadam avyamidi. There's a little mistake right there. That's a ma, extra ma there. Swaradi nipadam avyamidi avyasamcha bhavati ataha prakriyayam mumagamana bhavati hrasvadesha apina bhavati. Purvapaksha tarhi adhikarana idi rupam bhaved ishtarupam adhikarana idi asti. Uttarapaksha tu adhikarana idi ishtarupam tu adhyam karodi anena ityanena api siddhyati. Parantu atra siddham adhikar. I think it escaped me.
अत्र किमस्ति आढ्यङ्करण इति भवेत् अत्र आढ्यङ्करण इति इष्टरूपं तु अनाढ्यम् आढ्यं करोति अनेन इति अपि सिद्ध्यति. I'll just highlight that. I don't have that.
Thank you. I just lost it. Parantu atra siddham adhikarana iti rupam api sadh rupam asti. Tad krudhatoh lyut pratyayam krutva karana shabde siddhe adhikaranam iti gari samasam krutva siddhyati. Ataha atra chvi pratyayanta upapadasya upasthito kyun pratyaya krade api tadrisham rupam sadhayidam shakyam ched atra na kopi dosha. Atha chvi pratyayanta upapadasya upasthito kyun pratyaya bhavati chedapi na doshaya. I'm not sure what that means.
what
Nilesh?
what I'm saying is, let me just quickly read through this. I think this is so basically the whole point over here is that if you end up in adding the kyun pratyaya on the chvi, the form will be adhikar. There will not be any mumagama. There will not be any the other karya, and you'll get the eventually as adhikarana. And what you want is adhyankaranam. There's again a type over here. We should want adhyankaranam. So what the teacher says is that fair enough, adhyankaranam is anyway the correct form, but adhikarana is not the form that is will be generated. But the adhikarana form is still correct because you can generate it by a different pratyaya called lyut pratyaya. So adhi plus karanam, that is adhi plus kru plus lyut. If you combine the whole thing together, you can get the final form. So if you are anyway getting a final form correctly by a different mechanism, what is the point in blocking the same form over here by giving achvav? So if you write achvav over here, you are blocking a form. That form will anyway be generated by a different sutram. So why you are hell bent on blocking that over here? Is the argument over here. So chvi pratyanste upasthito api same form bhavedapi na doshaya. Iti atra argument asti. If that form is invalid, then it makes sense to block. But it is anyway valid form. Some other sutra will generate that. So why are you blocking it over here is the argument.
Yep. So I think it's very important right now to point out there are three pratyayas that we are considering. Number one is the chwi, then kyun, and then lyut. And each of them has got their own functions, at least as we know now. The chwi gives a meaning. The lyut is the general pratyaya, what do you call it, utsarga. And then finally the kyun refers to these 7 shabdas. All right, now Purvapaksha, Tari atra achvavidhi granena adhikaranamidhi lyut pratyanda rupena saha api rupasiddhi na bhavediti acharyasya ashaya. Uttarapaksha tu am tadeva kashikakarasya matam parantu tad bhashya viruddham. भाष्यमतेन तु आढीकरण इति शब्दः साधु अस्ति, अतः अच्वाविधि निषेधस्य अस्मिन् सूत्रे न प्रयोजनम्. वस्तुतस्तु अयं निषेधः उत्तरार्थः. अग्रिमसूत्रे कर्तरि भुवः हेष्णुच् कुकन्यौ इत्यत्र निर्दिष्टौ प्रत्ययो च्वि प्रत्ययस्य उपस्थितौ न भवेत् ताम् इति स्पष्टीकर्तुम् अत्र अच्वाविधि निर्देशः कृतः अस्ति. So they go round and round in circles. So let's go to the next.
I think it's done. This is.
Yeah, that's
and
it.
Your conclusion over there was this is bhitti shiratadanam. So if you want to explain. So,
well, I mean, the bottom line is
this whole thing. And then he says these kind of detailed arguments do not make any sense today. They are like bhitti shiratadanam. Hair splitting is what we typically call in normal days. But that's the gist of Vyakarana Shastra. Anyway, do you have any concluding comments on this? Otherwise, we'll.
I think the only comment is, listen, most of you are from India, and then I'm an Indian, but I've been living here for the last 52 years in the US. It is very important to protect the culture and the language and the traditions or the paramparas. And if you want to do it, there's no free lunch. We have to support these organizations. There are people working across the globe with Vyoma Lab to protect what we value very much. Therefore, please, please support this organization and or other organization to the best extent that you can within your means and within your power. With that, I would like to conclude. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you very much. A few people have said over here, wonderful message and wonderful explanation. So thank you very much for, all your insight and all your, help. And I hope that you will present more and more exercises in the next session. He actually has given the answer of the next exercise also, like exercise 67 also he volunteered and he sent the answers, but till that time some other volunteers had already filled their names. So I said, let's go by the rules, let's have other volunteers present it, but maybe at some other point in time I'll again invite him for the further discussion. Okay, let's go to the exercise 67. We will take both of these questions today. We have enough time. The first question is being answered by Shri Satish Joshi. I think he is one of the new joinees of our course. I have been seeing him for like last 10 classes or so. So I'm going to unmute Shri Satish ji what I'm going to request you is kindly introduce yourself, because I myself don't know. I mean, I have not yet had any interaction with you earlier. So kindly introduce yourself, specifically about your acquaintance with Sanskrit, and like your acquaintance with Vyoma Samskrita Pathashala or whatever, and then you can take up the answers of this particular question. Shri Satish Chandra Joshi, you will have to unmute yourself. There is Namaste.
Namaste.
Shruyate. Prarabhatam.
Shruyate.
Namaste. You can start.
Upakritosmi. I would like to introduce myself in English so that I can clearly say what I am. I had preliminary knowledge of Sanskrit, but I worked in a bank for about 40 years, 36 years, and I retired in 2010. And the first thing I took up is reconnect with my Sanskrit learning. And I began with where should I have begun my Sanskrit studies. That is with Ashtadhyayi, but I could not get any proper method to reconnect. So I was really fortunate to come across some of the YouTube messages. And the first message I heard in the month of, during this great lockdown, when I had stopped working for about 2 months already. So I wasn't traveling to the office, etc. So I saw this and I was so deeply impressed. Not only by content of the program, but how it was relevant to me. Because having been a Sanskrit student, I had failed all my life to reconnect with Panini and Ashtadhyayi. My own failure, but somehow I couldn't connect with Ashtadhyayi at all. But this program gave me a good opportunity of giving me basics. And then from text point of view, as you rightly said, Pushpa Dikshit's book. So the Vyoma on one side and Pushpa Dikshit's book have reintroduced me. And I don't think I have gone beyond the 14 Pratyahar Sutras at the moment. But I would endeavor, because I have got grounding in Sanskrit language and literature. But I am unable to claim this, which I was claiming all my life, that I know Sanskrit well. Because after joining Ashtadhyayi classes, I realized how little I know. I wouldn't say the word little is good, because it is infinitesimal knowledge that I have. Thank you very much. May I read my answer of the first?
Please. You have volunteered for the first one. Actually, Satish ji also answered both of the questions, sent answers to both of the questions, but we have to go by rules. So he has volunteered for the first one. So I'm going to request him to answer the first one, and then we'll go to the second volunteer for the second question. You can start.
I am very elderly person. Of course, many of us are elderly people, but I am not very familiar. So when I am speaking now with you through this medium, please tell me whether my voice is audible, too loud or too low. So
your voice is very properly audible. You can speak in the same pitch, not higher nor lower.
Okay. And Nileshji, there is a personal adulation I have developed for you, and I would and through you to Vyoma. So I really share the enthusiasm by one of the oldest and one of the senior most person, Kalyanji. I am the junior most in your lab, but I really share your enthusiasm and your commitment.
Thank you
very much.
Appreciated. Yeah, thank you.
Ajay. Now we are taking this sutra, Kartari Bhuvah Krishnut Kakriyan. Anuvrutti is Ardhya, Subhaga, Sthula, Palita, Nagna, Andha, Priyeshu, Chvartheshu, Achvau. Sutrartha. Chvarthe Vidyamane, Parantu Chvi Pratyam Vina, Prayukte Vakye. Yadi Ardhyadishu Upapadeshu, Chvartheshu, Achvyanteshu, संपद्य कर्तरी अभूत तद्भावे भूधातोः खेष्णुत खुकयों प्रत्ययो प्रयुज्यते. This is an extensive explanation, some expansion of the sutra. The example, udaharanam. अनाद्यः आद्यः भवति अनाद्यः आद्यः भवति इति आद्यं भविष्णु. And the second pratyaya hukai will give adyam bhavukah brahmanah. I'll read the vritti again. Anadyah adyah bhavati iti adyam bhavishnuh adyam bhavukah brahmanah. Now, Dalakrityam is attempted by me here. I had made a very loose Dalakrityam. For countless things, I thank sir. He re-corrected and made it in a proper format, because grammar essentially is more of a form than content. So obviously, every single aspect of system should be adhered to. I thank you again. The Dalakrityam is divided in 7 small messages. First message. Adhyadini sapta upapadani. Eteshu ekam avashyam bhavi. To make this Krudanta, at least one of the 7 upapadas, adhya, etc., is a must, avashyam bhavi. Anyatha etau pratyayau na bhavatah. Yatha. So we are taking an example of a non-7, one from outside that lot, the set of 7. Shuklaha shuklaha bhavati. This vritti, this sentence will not be eligible for the pratyaya, kukai and kishnuch. Adhyadini sapta upapadani eteshu ekam avashyam bhavi. Anyatha etau pratyayo na bhavatah. Yatha ashuklah shuklah bhavati. Atra etau pratyayo na bhavatah. Dvitiyam. Pratyayena kartuhu nirdesha avashyakah. This sutra changes or departs from the restriction of karana of the previous sutra. Otherwise, there is a mandate of kartari krut already. Why should we use the word kartari again? But the explanation of this question is given in the Dala 2. Pratyayena kartuhu nirdesha avashyaka. Kartari krut iti eva siddhe. Karanartha nivrityartha kartari iti grahanam. Yatha. Example. Anadyah adyah bhavati anena. Quite similar in form to the previous sutra. Anadyah adyah bhavati anena. Atra etau pratyayo na bhavatah. Trutiyam dalam. Upapadam kartari karike bhavet. Yatha anadyah adyasya mitram bhavati. Atra etau pratyayo na bhavatah. Adyasya is the Shashti Vibhakti, Sambandha Karaka. So that Karaka is obviously not acceptable. So the third dalam will also give us clarity about the implication and the purvey or the range of this particular sutra. Fourth dalam. Vakye cha vartha nasti chet pratyay vidhanam na bhavati. Yatha adyah atra bhavati. Atra etau pratyayau na bhavatah. Now, this abhuta tadbhava and sampadya kartari are so excellently explained in Basu's book that I had quite a good mind to quote them verbatim. But everybody knows Chavartha now, thanks to the external explanation. But Chvi Prayoga is a difficult Prayoga, and that is why the foundation was required. But because everybody has explained it so well, I can't add anything. But I can only underline the importance of the Chvi Prayoga. It is one of the unique Prayogas, and it can mislead somewhere in the format as well as the meaning. So we should eschew any such mistake. So with this comment, I'll repeat my Dala. Vakye Chvartha Nasti Chet Pratyay Vidhanam Na Bhavati. Yatha Adyah Atra Bhavati. Atra Etau Pratyayau Na Bhavatah. Because there is no denial, there is no abhuta bhava, abhuta tadbhava here, there is no Sampadya Kartari sense. Obviously, these two suffixes will not attach because the underlying requirement was Chvartha. Chvartha, Achvav is a condition, but not that significant as the Chvartha. Because in Achvav, there was a debate in the previous sutra whether it is applicable to that sutra. Then to justify it, they said, okay, it is applicable for the second. So Achvav is not that great as Chvarthe. I mean, this is a personal observation. Vakye Chvartha nasti chet pratyay vidanam na bhavati. Yatha asdya atra bhavati. Atra etau pratyayo na bhavati. Now, Achvav. Vakye chvi pratyah prayujyate chet pratyayo na bhavatah. We should, the mandate is to have this sense of chvi, but not the actual suffix chvi. Now, actually, in this grammar, there is no chvi pratyaya which is visible in any in visual form. In any, it is not heard. It is not struyate anywhere. So chvi is an like queen. It is a pratyaya which is completely one of the most modest suffixes, but it is very energetic as far as its result is concerned. So vakye chvi pratyaya prayujyate chet pratyayo na bhavatah. Atah subhagi bhavishnu etadrashaha shabdaha na bhavatah. Sixth, bhu dhatuhu nasti chet pratyayo etau na bhavatah. There are only three dhatus: bhu, as, and kru. Only this. Kru has been shown before. Now we are showing bhu. Us just cannot be given accepting in the form of syat. There was a debate about whether the lat pratyaya, lat only should be in the vritti. But in us, we cannot use lat at all. We have to use syat only because there is some happening, and in us there is no possibility of a mandate. So us will not be possible. So vakye bhu dhatuhu nasti chet pratyayo etau na bhavatah. Yatha anadya adya asti atah atra etau pratyayo na bhavatah. In concluding, which is not exactly Dalakrutya, but is a mandate of the explanation of the two anuvandas. Kishnuch kukai iti atra khakarah arurdvishat ajantasya mum iti mumagamanartha. And cha obviously is for swara krutyam. I am honored by the opportunity given. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. Wonderfully explained, I must add. And I am going to sincerely request you to please volunteer for more and more exercises going ahead in the next session. Very well explained with proper pace, explaining, giving correct examples, and so on. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
So somebody is asking a question. Let me take it. What I have very little information about Kayyata. What is his birth date, year, and his works? So the answer is there here. You go to there's a list of all the grammarians and their works. So let's actually take a look at it. Vyakaranasya Grantha Parampara, third number. So if you open this up, Vyakaranasya Grantha Parampara, you can see that Kayyata is mentioned over here. One of the only works that is known from Kayyata is called Pradeepa in 1000th century AD. So Kayyata is in 1000th century AD. By the way, you can take a look at this book, Paniniya Vyakaranasya Grantha Parampara. It is there in one of the third number write-up on the website. All the grammarians with their works and with their centuries are being provided over here for your reference. Okay, Agre Gachamaha, the last question of today's class. Jayashri Deshpande ji, she has very beautifully written answer. Like, how would somebody write a research paper that way? It was being written. Original answer was 9 pages, and then I requested her to please condense into 3 pages. But the original paper, I think it's worth sharing as an original answer itself separately. It's very beautifully, and a descriptive paper or a research paper, how someone would write. So, and one of the very rare examples where not one change that I have done in this answer, or maybe one comma here and there, one no to no here and there is what I've changed. Otherwise, I just copy pasted the whole answer as it is over here. So I'm going to, let me first find where is Jayashree ji. So yeah, I'm going to unmute her. Since you are, she's also very regular. I think she's here for since the first class of Kridanta Prakaranam, but I think you're volunteering for the first time. So I would like you to, introduce yourself first, primarily your association with Sanskritam, Vyoma, and then you can take up the answers. You can take up all the remaining 25-30 minutes. After this particular session, this particular exercise, we will stop. So I have unmuted you. You will have to unmute yourself now. Namaste.
Namaste, Nilesh Mohoday.
Shruyate. Prarabhata.
Namaste Sarvebhya. My name is Shri Deshpande. I live in Tampa in the USA. I come from Pune, basically in India. My association with Sanskrit, it started a few years ago. Actually, typically in a Marathi household, we grow up learning Gita, Adhyayas and Shlokas. I had only that much exposure to Sanskrit as such. A few years ago in Pune, we have a Gita Dharma Mandal where I took the Santha and I learned Gita by heart. That of course changed my life, but I felt the deep need to know Sanskrit more. But I was living here in the US, so I had no access to any direct learning class or anything. So I started struggling with books and all. Till 3 years ago, I happened to listen to one lecture on Dashalakaras by Nilesh Mohoday. And I think I had sent him a mail also asking for some books or something. And then again, just by coincidence, I happened to listen to Soumya Bhagini's Champu Ramayanam, and it just took me on a different trip. I really, I'm very grateful to both of you and the Vyoma initiative itself, because in one word, you have completely changed my understanding about the language. I think by nature, I was gifted with, some learning capability in language. So maybe in this, I also did Tilakram Mahodaya's Ashtadhyay Pravesha and Soumya Bhagini's Kovida Vargas. And after all this, I think I have stuck with Nilesh Mohoday, your classes. I had done about half of your Tadvita Prakaranam also. But somewhere along the line, I think I lost the link somewhere and I have to go back to it. But this is how my association has been with Sanskritam. And it has been like a reverse journey coming through Sanskrit from Gita. But I'm thoroughly grateful to all of you, especially Vyoma, for all the, the good work that is happening. Thank you again. So can I go to the answer?
Thank you very much. Yes, please go ahead with the detailed Shastra discussion. Very beautifully written answer, I must say. I will try to share your original 9-10 page answer also separately on the group, but let's go ahead with whatever condensed version you have over here.
Thank you so much, Nilesh Mohoday. The prashna, second question, द्वितीयः प्रश्नः अस्ति खिष्णुच् इति प्रत्ययगौरवः खिष्णुच् इत्यस्य स्थाने क्ष्णुच प्रत्ययः करणीयः वा इत्यस्मिन् विषये भाष्यकारस्य कैयटस्य तथा नागेशस्य मतं संक्षेपेण स्पष्टीकुरुत. सो प्रथमं प्रत्ययगौरवः इत्यस्य विषये जानीमः. गौरवम् इत्यर्थे अलाघवम्, वृथाणाम् अथवा अनर्थकाणां वर्णानां प्रयोगः प्रत्ययगौरवः. सूत्ररचनायां तु लाघवम् अथवा अल्पाक्षरत्वं बहु मुख्यम्. सूत्रे एका मात्रा अपि न्यूना भवितुम् अर्हति चेत् वैयाकरणाः सन्तुष्टाः भवन्ति. अस्मिन् विषये कथ्यते अर्धमात्रा लाघवेन पुत्रोत्सवं मन्यन्ते वैयाकरणाः. So the Vaiyakarana celebrate as if they got a son once if they are able to reduce even half a matra. सूत्रलक्षणानां विषये उक्तायां प्रसिद्धायां कारिकायामपि अल्पाक्षरत्वम् इति प्रथमं विशेषणं कथितम्. अल्पाक्षरम् असद्लिग्धं सारवत् विश्वतोमुखम् अस्तोभमनवद्यं च सूत्रं सूत्रविदो विदुः. Now we will look at the Purva Paksha.
Just one comment. This Ardhamatra Laghavena Putrotsavam Manyante Vaiyakaranaha. So this is actually a paribhasha in the Paribhashendu Shekhara. So this is actually well known as, a famous statement which is given to support Alpaksharatvam, but is actually the last paribhasha of Paribhashendu Shekhara, Ardhamatra Laghavena Putrotsavam Manyante Vaiyakarana. Okay, agree.
पूर्वपक्ष पश्यामः. खिष्णुच इत्यत्र गौरवः कथं? पूर्वपक्षः खिष्णुच इति प्रत्यय प्रत्यये व्यर्थाः वर्णाः किमर्थं प्रयुक्ताः? तत्र ख च तथा न एते न आवश्यकाः इति पूर्वपक्षः। तदित्थं खिष्णुच प्रत्यये ख इ श्नु तथा च एते वर्णाः सन्ति। अयं प्रत्ययः भूधातोः विधीयते। अयं धातुः सेट् तथा हि इडागमयोग्यः। Now this is all the background given. So तस्मात् कारणात् यदि धातुः इडागमयोग्यः तर्हि प्रत्ययस्य इकारस्य प्रयोजनं किम्? इकारेण विना अस्य प्रत्ययस्य रूपं क्षुणुच् कृत्वापि आर्धधातुकस्य बलादेः इत्यनेन इडागमानन्तरं रूपं समानं भवति। अतः क्षुणुच् इति पर्याप्तम् इति आक्षेपः, प्रथमम् आक्षेपः। क्षुणुच् प्रत्यये अपि चकारस्य प्रयोजनं न। यदा सूत्रे नैकाः स्वराः सन्ति चेत् अन्तिमस्वरस्य उदात्तविधानार्थे चकारस्य प्रयोगं भवितुम् अर्हति। स्नुच् प्रत्यये एकः एव स्वरः, तत्र आद्युदात्तश्च इत्यनेन स्वरविधानं कर्तुं शक्यते, तर्हि चकारस्य प्रयोजनं न। अतः अत्र क्षु इत्येव विधानं करणीयम्। तृतीयम् आक्षेपः।
Let me just quickly elaborate on this over here. So if there are multiple swaras, then the first swara becomes udatta by adyudattascha, and last swara becomes adyudatta, last swara becomes udatta, so antodatta basically by chitaha. So you have two competing sutras. There is one adyudattascha which is basically trying to put a certain swara on the first swara for a certain pitch on the first swara, and there is chitaha which is putting certain pitch on the last swara. And when you have such a competition, the chakara as an anubandha makes sense, because then chitaha will take precedence over adyudattascha. But when you have only one swara, and this again reflects to another paribhasha in the Paribhashanda Shekhara, which says Vyapadeshivad ekasmin. The typical example given over here is Devadatta se ekaha putraha saiva jeshtha saiva kanishta. So if Devadatta has 5 sons, then it makes sense probably to point one of them saying jeshtha and different of them saying kanishtha, the eldest and the youngest. But when Devadatta has only one son, the same son becomes jeshtha and same son becomes kanishtha. Devadatta se ekaha putraha sa eva jeshtha sa eva kanishtaha. So this is the explanation given, and this has been quoted, formalized as a paribhasha called Vyapadeshivad ekasmin in Paribhashanda Shekhara, and that's exactly what is happening. Ekaha swaraha asti chet sa eva adi sa eva antaha, and therefore adyudattascha is sufficient. The chitaha is not required, and therefore chakarasya prayojanam nasti iti atra charcha asti. Agre gachamah.
क्षु इति रूपे अपि शकारः न आवश्यकः। तत्स्थाने शकारस्य स्थाने सकारं संस्थाप्य अपि इडागमानन्तरम् आदेशप्रत्ययोः इत्यनेन सकारस्य षत्वं भवति एव। तर्हि क्ष्णु इति विधानं पर्याप्तम्। क्ष्णु इत्यत्र नकारस्य स्थाने नकारः अस्ति चेदपि रसाभ्यां नोणः समानपदे इत्यनेन णत्वं भवेदेव। तर्हि अत्र क्ष्णु इति रूपं भवितुम् अर्हति। यदि क्ष्णु इति प्रत्ययः अस्ति चेत् सकारे परे खकारस्य खरिच इत्यनेन चर्त्वे कृते क्ष्णु इति रूपं सिद्ध्यति। खरिच इत्यनेन खरिपरे झल्वर्णानां स्थाने वर्ग प्रथमम् आगच्छति। तेन सूत्रेण खकारस्य ककारं भवेत्, अतः क्ष्णु इति रूपं भवेत् इति सर्वः पूर्वपक्षस्य तर्कः। अग्रे भाष्यकारस्य मतं पश्यामः। अस्मिन् सूत्रे भाष्यकारः वदति, अस्मिन् सूत्रे खकारः अपेक्षते। क्ष्णु इति चेत् अयं प्रत्ययः कित् अस्ति उत खित् अस्ति इति संशयः तथा भ्रान्तिः भवितुं शक्यते। अतः स्पष्टता प्रतिपत्त्यर्थं खकारः। षष्ठाध्याये समासप्रकरणे नयसमासानां स्वरविधानविषये कृत्योकेष्णु चार्वादयश्च इति एकं सूत्रमस्ति। कृत्य उक इष्णुच चारु आदयः च। तत्र इष्णुच् इत्यनेन इष्णुच् इति ताच्छीलिकप्रत्ययस्य ग्रहणं कृतम्। अनेन अत्र खिष्णुच् प्रत्ययस्यापि ग्रहणम् इष्यते। यदि अत्र खिष्णुच् इत्यस्य स्थाने क्ष्णु वदामश्चेत् षष्ठाध्यायस्य कृत्योकेष्णु चार्वादयश्च सूत्रस्य इष्णुच् प्रत्ययेन अस्य प्रत्ययस्य ग्रहणं न भवेत्। इत्यर्थे अपि अत्र खिष्णुच् इति उक्तं स्यात्. So he says syat means he just says it may happen. It's not a direct or a spashta kind of statement. He says it may happen. So the third one is इष्णुच् शब्दे द्वौ प्रत्ययो समाविष्टौ. किन्तु इष्णुच् शब्दस्य अपेक्षया खिष्णुच् इति शब्दे ख इति एकः अतिरिक्तः अनुबन्धः अस्ति. अस्यां स्थितौ तदनुबन्धकग्रहणे न अतदनुबन्धकस्य परिभाषा त्र्यशीति इति परिभाषया इष्णुच् इति निर्देशेन तादृशानां प्रत्ययानां ग्रहणं न सम्भवति येषु चकाराणाम् अनुबन्धानां यत्र उपस्थितिः अस्ति. अतः अत्र खिष्णुच् प्रत्ययः न एव भवेत् इति कश्चन आक्षेपः भवति. अस्य समाधानं खिष्णुच् प्रत्ययः अपि कृत्योकेष्णुच् चार्वादयश्च इत्यत्र अन्तर्भवेत् इत्यर्थे एव व्यर्थस्य इकारस्य तथा चकारस्य योजनं कृतं पाणिनिना. परन्तु यदि कृत्योकेष्णुच् चार्वादयश्च सूत्रे खिष्णुच् इति प्रत्ययग्रहणं नापेक्षितं तर्हि खिष्णुच् इत्यस्य स्थाने आचार्यः क्ष्णु इत्येव ब्रूयात्. अतः व्यर्थग्रहणं ज्ञापयति. यत् तदनुबन्धकग्रहणे न अतदनुबन्धकस्य इति परिभाषा अत्र नैव प्रयोक्तव्या. अतः भाष्यकारेण उच्यते नैयस्तु स्वरसिद्ध्यर्थम् इकारादित्वम् इष्णुचः इत्युक्ते कृत्योकेष्णुच् चार्वादयश्च इत्यत्र नञ् समासविषये खिष्णुच् प्रत्ययस्य स्वरसिद्धिः सम्यक् रूपेण भवेत् इत्यर्थे इष्णुच् प्रत्ययस्य इकारादित्वं कृतम्. अनन्तरं तर्हि अत्र केवलं चकारं स्थापित्वा अपि इडागमे कृते तदनुबन्धकपरिभाषायाः बाधनं भवति एव. अतः खिष्णुच स्थाने क्ष्णुच् कृत्वा अपि तदनुबन्धकपरिभाषायाः प्रतिषेधं भवेत् इति वदामश्चेत् तथा कर्तुं न शक्यते. अत्र लक्षणप्रतिपदयोः प्रतिपदोक्तस्यैव ग्रहणं परिभाषा 114 इति परिभाषायाः प्रसक्तिः भवति. अनया परिभाषया यत्र कश्चन शब्दः अथवा प्रत्ययः एकस्मिन् स्थले प्रतिपदोक्तरूपेण दट् इस् प्रत्ययस्य मूलस्वरूपेण निर्दिष्टः अस्ति च अन्यस्मिन् स्थले सः शब्दः अथवा प्रत्ययः लाक्षणिकरूपेण आगच्छति अर्थात् तस्य निर्माणं सूत्रप्रयोगैः भवति तर्हि तत्र केवलं प्रतिपदोक्तस्य एव ग्रहणं करणीयम्. अतः खिष्णुच् इत्यस्य स्थाने क्ष्णु इति उच्यते चेत् तस्मात् निर्मितस्य इष्णुच् प्रत्ययस्य ग्रहणं कृत्योकेष्णुच् चार्वादयश्च इत्यत्र न शक्यम्. अपि च यदि खिष्णुच् इत्यस्य रूपं क्ष्णुच् भवेत् तर्हि तथा च क्ष्णुच् प्रत्ययस्य खिष्णुच् रूपान्तरणार्थे षत्वं तथा णत्वम् एतद् त्रिपादिकार्यद्वयम् आवश्यकम्. कृत्योकेष्णुच् चार्वादयश्च अस्य सूत्रस्य कृते तत् त्रिपादिकार्यद्वयम् असिद्धम्. अतः क्ष्णुच् इत्यत्र इडागमादनन्तरं कृतं षत्वं तथा णत्वं न शक्यम्. अतः खिष्णुच् इत्येव वक्तव्यम् इति भाष्य तात्पर्यम्. So this whole viewpoint is as per the bhashya, the way it is given in the bhashya. Now we will see how Kayyata thinks about this. Kayyatasya matam किम् अस्ति? Kayyatः अस्य भाष्यस्य विवरणं पूर्णतया स्वीकरोति. महाभाष्यप्रदीपे सः खिष्णुचि कृते इकारोच्चारणसामर्थ्यात् तदनुबन्धकपरिभाषा नाश्रीयते इति वदति. क्ष्णोः स्थाने खिष्णुच् इति रूपम् इकारस्य उच्चारणसामर्थ्यात् कृत्वा तदनुबन्धकपरिभाषायां ग्रहणं न भवति इति तात्पर्यम्. So he agrees completely with what was discussed before, and then Nageshasya matam. Nagesha gives a completely contrasting point of view. He says महाभाष्य प्रदीपोद्योते नागेशः भाष्यकारस्य विधानं पूर्णतः भिन्नरूपेण उपादत्ते. नागेशस्य मतेन क्स्नुच् प्रत्ययः स्वीकरणीयः इति एव भाष्यकारस्य तात्पर्यम्.
I just want to stop you for a minute over here and explain something very important. So what we are looking at it is the same statement being interpreted by Kayyata in a different style and Nagesha in a different style. What we need to understand is that Nagesha is not saying Bhashyakara is wrong. Nagesha will never say Bhashyakara is wrong. He's a strict follower of Bhashyakara. So he will never deviate from what is being said in the Bhashya. All that he is saying is, all along you were wrong in interpreting the Bhashya. This is the correct interpretation of the Bhashya. So this is one of the very unique cases where the same statement, I have shown it in the class also with the red and the blue color, the same set of statements have been flipped and the meaning changes. And in the previous case, whatever was the Uttara Paksha becomes the Purva Paksha in the next case. So it is very important to understand over here that Nagesha is not contradicting Bhashya. He is saying that I am explaining the Bhashya in a way that you never understood before. Agre gachhama.
I think that is also because Bhashya doesn't say who has said whom, right?
Exactly. That is because Bhashya is extremely ambiguous. We can call it a negative side, we can call it a beauty. In fact, as I mentioned earlier, the Vakyartha Sabhas that happen tomorrow, and you can actually draw logical conclusions from this Vakyartha Sabha, primarily because the same statements of Bhashya can be reinterpreted in a different style which were not interpreted before. So Bhashya is kind of ambiguous. We don't know whether we should say it as a good thing or a bad thing, but that's how it is. It is kind of ambiguous. There is a standard way of interpreting it, but one can always, with their own style and their own intelligence and thought process, overturn that and come up with a different interpretation which looks more applicable. So you can't just go ahead and do a random interpretations. It has to be justified by the prayogas. But if you can do that, then probably you will be the next biggest grammarian ever. So go ahead. Thank you.
Okay. So नागेशस्य मतेन क्स्नुच् प्रत्ययः स्वीकरणीयः इति एव भाष्यकारस्य तात्पर्यम्. तस्य मतेन अयं क्स्नुच् प्रत्ययः इति कृते अवश्यम् इष्णुच् भवति एव. नागेशस्य मतेन नय्यस्तु स्वरसिद्ध्यर्थम् इकारादित्वम् इष्णुचः इति तात्पर्यं तु पूर्वपक्षस्य एव, आचार्यस्य न. व्यर्थरूपेण वर्णद्वयं न योजित्वा केवलं चकारं स्थापयित्वा अपि इडागमे कृते इष्णुच् भवेत्. तदनुबन्धकपरिभाषाचिन्तनं, लक्षणप्रतिपदोक्तपरिभाषाचिन्तनं, षत्वविषयकम् असिद्धत्वं तथा णत्वविषयकम् असिद्धत्वम् इति सर्वमेव एकदेशी उक्तिः. क्स्नुच् ग्रहणम् इति एव सिद्धान्तः. तत्र च व्यर्थचकारस्य प्रयोगः एव ज्ञापकम्. यत् अत्र एते नियमाः नैव प्रयोक्तव्याः. So he basically says all that discussion which was there about the paribhashas, and that is not necessary. The cha itself has so much power that it can take care of all these other things which were the paribhashas, and their scope is kind of transcended by the chakara, the use of chakara.
And this is actually important to understand, because what happens is, even in the earlier argument, a Vyartha entity was placed. So a Vyartha Ikara and a Vyartha Chakara was placed. So Ikara is primarily first placed as Vyartha, and then to bring a correct Swara, this Chakara was placed as Vyartha. And then if you look at the previous argument, the Vyartha Ikara was strong enough to block the Tadanubandhaka Paribhasha, but the Vyartha Ikara was apparently not strong enough to, block the Lakshana Pratipadokta Paribhasha, and not strong enough to do whatever, Shatvanatva, whatever, or Vyartha Chakara. So the question was, where do you draw the line? Why is that Vyartha letter only capable of blocking one Paribhasha and not on other Paribhasha or not other Karyas? And that's what exactly she explained right now, that we cannot draw such line. Chakara, if there is a power in Chakara to, override one Paribhasha, then definitely that Chakara has a power to override, say, two more Paribhashas and two more Karyas. And that's what Nagesha is putting the whole story over here. Yeah, you can go ahead and explain the last part.
Yeah. Additionally, there is one more Vyakhyana, Shivaramendra Saraswati Virachite Mahabhashya Siddhanta Ratna Prakasha Nama Pradeepa Vyakhyane api Mandabudhyanugrahaaya Spashta Pratiti Anukulaha Ikaradihi Kritaha iti Bodhyam iti Uktam. अस्मिन् ग्रन्थे इष्णुच् प्रत्ययः स्वीकरणीयः इति प्रथमं निर्वचनं मन्दबुद्ध्यनुग्रहाय, like for the beginners इति उक्तम्. ततश्च व्यर्थ इकारस्य निरूपणं केवलं सुलभीकरणार्थं, तथा हि भाष्यस्य उचितं निर्वचनं तु अत्र नागेशेन कृतं स्नुच् भवेत् इत्येव आशयः प्रतिपादितः. So he says that this Nageshasya matam is the correct mata, and the whole step-by-step the giving reasons for why sir, why sure, and all that was for the beginners. For I don't know if Manda Buddhi is the right thing there, but since they say it, maybe the new students may not understand. So for their understanding, so that they probably are exposed to all these paribhashas, so all that was done. But Nagesha says that the Bhashakarasya matam is smich bhavet iti.
Very wonderfully explained. So, like, I'm getting comments over here, very beautiful explanation. And moreover, the answer is very well structured with various bullets. You have Bhashakarasya matam separate, points in it, and Kayatasya matam separate. Phenomenal answer sheet. So I'll try to, see if I can upload the original 9-page answer sheet. It has a lot of multiple stuff other than that. So I had to literally request her to send me back a 1-2-page summary, and then she came up with 3.5-page summary. There's a lot of stuff in the original discussion. She talks in details about this Alankuri, Nirakuri, Prachanod, Pacho, that
I
particular.
actually enjoyed saying that, and while writing that, I learned it by heart.
Yeah. So then how is that particular? So how is the other Ishnuch Pratyaya different from the current Kishnuch Pratyaya? All this is very beautifully explained in that particular document. So thank you very much. And as I also mentioned you on the email, I want you to probably step up and take more and more exercises, discussion, because it's not me, it's not you. The whole class is going to be benefited by these kind of answers. So I very rarely say this, but please start contributing more in the upcoming sessions of
I'll
homework.
most certainly do, Nilesh Modaya. And all this, whatever answer I wrote, I think 99% of that, the credit goes to you, because you explained it so well to us. So it was easy. Otherwise, it's not easy to just look at the bhashya and come up with this whole thing. So thank you again.
Absolutely, no problem. And let me just conclude with Sri Kalyana Krishnan's very beautiful statement. He writes over here. He says, all this charcha is to celebrate the beauty and the completeness of, the entire grammar parampara, starting from Panini up to Nagesha, who comes probably 2000 years of after Panini's work. So that's the entire parampara that we are actually celebrating, or we get a new insight in that particular parampara by doing these kind of Shastra exercises. So I'm just going to blindly read out some of the congratulatory comments, because I don't want to unnecessarily translate them. So one member says, today's session is very inspiring. Please do convey my gratitude to all the volunteers who presented today. Thank you. Somebody else is saying, very well written, very good explanation. There is one more person who is saying, fantastic explanation. Thank you, ma'am. And there are a couple of more. So again, all our volunteers today, Vijay ji, Sri Kalyana Krishnan ji, Rajalakshmi ma'am in the beginning, we have Jayashree ma'am right now. Everybody did some really beautiful work today. So I think going ahead, we should probably have more homeworks on the Shastra Charcha and less homeworks on the Prakriya. It's actually good. I mean, Vyakarana is about the Shastra Charcha. Prakriya, the generator will be ready on ashtadhyayi.com in a few months, and Prakriya will be available over there. So let me think of giving more and more questions on the Shastra Charcha, because that actually unreveals, or that actually reveals whatever, the beauty of the Vyakarana Shastra, so that more and more people feel like jumping in and contributing to this. Let's stop here on this note. There is one announcement, or okay, 1 second. I promised Mr. Kalyana Krishnan that I will let him speak something towards the end of the class. So I'm going to unmute him right now, and he can say something for a minute that he wanted to speak. Namaste.
Thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
I just want to make one very simple comment. When you do these charcha, these discussions, these vyakyanas, one of the things that sticks in my mind during the Dalakrityam, if you read that first question that I was discussing on lesson 66, Adya Subhastula, blah, 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 and then goes to Chwarte Achwao. If you want to simplify things, just let me throw this as a bone to everybody. Chwarte Achwao, just get rid of the whole thing. So the sutra will read, Adya Subhastula, blah, 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 Kartari Bhuva Kishlish Kukanya. Or on the previous sutra, same way. And the reason is, maybe there is a way to get the meaning of the Achvateshvacho into the sutra without those two little words, and that may be a pretty good project for people to undertake. Then all this discussion that we did today on lesson 66 is basically Vyartha. So anyhow, with that,
this is exactly what he had mentioned. So when I said that he had his own views in the particular answer sheet after this, so this exactly what he said is that these two words are Vyartha, and he had his own explanation following it, why these two words can be kicked out of that. So again, this is definitely the reply that I wrote to him is extremely advanced Shastra Charcha. Probably we should stick in the domain of whatever is there in Siddhanta Kaumudi and subject matter. But I'm very happy that we have somebody who looks at the sutra, understands it from all angles, and then proposes one own solution on the top of it, saying that I believe these two words are useless, and here are like 5 reasons for that, 4 reasons for that, like that. He writes the whole answers, and instead of writing iti dik, he writes iti dik, which essentially means that this is all hair splitting and not probably worth it. I take it as a light mood, as a humor. But thank you very much for the detailed answers.
Hasyavadanam. But finally, please to everyone, please do what you can to support the organization. It is very, very important. They don't ask for anything, but we got to do on our own. Our own inspiration has got to help us, you know, have that heart to loosen up a little bit and let the pocket be, you know, lightened up. Okay. I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
I would also, thank you very much. I would also support that. Vyoma Samskrita Pathshala. I mean, I have my own day job and I earn enough that I don't have to like depend on any of this. But Vyoma Samskrita Pathshala, they have put their heart, soul, money, everything into this, and it's our duty to support them by whatever we can. Anyway, I have one quick announcement and then we will conclude. So we finished with exercises till 67 today. Now exercise, let me just zoom this out so that the entire table is visible. Okay, so exercises 68, 69 are by Sri Rajagopalanji. He needs a little more time because he had an upcoming exam, so he was not able to spend time on this. So next week we will take exercises 68, 69 and 72, which are by Rajagopalanji. Tomorrow we will take exercises 70 and 71. So Satish ji is giving exercise 70, and again Rajalakshmi ma'am, who did today 65th exercise, is going to discuss exercise 71. So this is just a heads up. Tomorrow we will have exercises 70 and 71, and then next week we just need one session on Thursday morning. I'll ask Rajagopalanji to fit everything in that single session. He'll take 68, 69 and 72. So with that one note, and with such a beautiful class today with lot of interesting Shastra Charcha, we will conclude. We will stop here. We'll meet tomorrow at the same time. अष्टाध्य जगन्माता यस्य चित्तात् समुत्थिता वेदानामुपकाराय तस्मै पाणिनये नमः शब्द ब्रह्म समाराध्य कृतवान्यो विलक्षणं सर्वाश्चर्यमिदं शास्त्रं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः येन धौता गिरः पुंसां विमलैः शब्दवारिभिः तमश्चाज्ञानजं भिन्नं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः. धन्यवादः.